People, what's up? It's me, the Diva X, and welcome to another edition of Ask the X. This next question it kind of stems from a lot of the stuff that I've been doing, and actually another video that I posted regarding why we're doing HIV prevention stuff, which thanks you guys for all the positive feedback on that. And I want to say thank you guys for all the stories that people, a lot of people have messaged me, and I feel super duper bad because I haven't even been able to read all of the messages because it was a lot of people, surprisingly enough, that responded in such positive ways about the work that we've done, the work that other people do, and how, those type of messages have related or affected individuals that have received those messages, that have heard people talk about testing, that have heard things of that nature. And so I apologize for those people who I haven't been able to respond to. I've read, some of them were paragraphs, so I don't want to be insensitive because I'm sure it contains a lot of heavy stuff, but I just want to really be in the clear mindset to sit and do that. And now it's been so long that I feel like I've fucked up and not said anything. However, I do plan on doing that maybe even tomorrow when I have some more free time. But this next message, it was not even, I'm just going to summarize it because I feel like it's an honest question, and I've heard this conversation with many people, is about dating someone who is HIV positive. Now, for me personally, I can honestly tell you that I've never been in the situation to be in that situation, to be in that predicament. So what I can tell you is that I can only tell you what I think I would do, because honestly, there's so many different factors that play into sign me up for that, and I think this is my opinion on the situation, and how I would want to go about it. The answer is yes, I would, the biggest thing for me is if someone I know who is HIV positive and there is a relationship situation forming, the only thing for me, and this is just actually with anyone who is positive, as long as they're taking care of themselves and doing what they're supposed to do to the best of their ability, then I don't understand why it would be a thing. Now, I understand you are putting yourself at risk knowingly, and you are, you're signing up for that, and that's a probability. I see it as the fact that just like driving, just like flying, going on a flight, there is a probability that you might get in an accident. There is a probability that that plane might go down. It's always possible. Anything is possible. And so I feel like even if you didn't know the person's status and you started a relationship with someone and they didn't know their status, then you're still signing up for that probability. If you're putting yourself at risk, if you're engaging in behaviors that could lead yourself to an infection, such as sexual intercourse, with or without a condom, whatever, you might be doing that anyways. So knowingly, or not knowingly, you might be putting yourself in those situations, and a lot of people have, and so that's why I don't know that it's like a detrimental situation that you're willing to date someone HIV positive. Because for me, I know I am very precautionary. I'm all about universal precautions. I've always thought, I've always taught, I've always told, I've always in my brain treat everyone like they have everything. Like if someone, if there's an accident or something, you don't just rush in and start touching everybody. You put some gloves on. If, if you're cleaning up a spill or someone vomits or something like that, you fucking put some protection on. You don't ever just rush into a situation. You make sure you protect yourself, because you got to protect yourself, or you should want to protect yourself. And so I kind of feel the same thing about dating someone positive. As long as you understand what's going on, and as long as the other person's doing whatever they can, because, and again, whether it is taking medications or not everybody needs to be on medication. So it might not be it might not be, are you taking meds? And if you're not, I'm not going to be with you. No, they might not need to. Their immune system might be able to handle this to a point where they don't need them, and their viral load may be low naturally. And that happens. So I do feel like they should be on top of it. They should be getting their levels checked. They should be doing their blood work regularly. They should be always monitoring their situation, because things change. It's not always just because it's good. It's, some days you have good days, some days you have bad days. So I just feel as long as the person's doing whatever it is they need to be doing as to maintain them, and taking the precautionary or the necessary steps to make themselves better or well, or maintaining their health, then I think I would be okay with it. A lot of people also, I know people now who actually are taking the Truvada, which is the which is pre-exposure prophylactic medications that you take as someone who is negative, to lower your risk of catching HIV if you become exposed to it. Now, I've always have been, because this medication isn't necessarily new, it's just becoming more popular. And also to me, it's also kind of the same thing with the post-exposure prophylactic that's been available for a very long time, so you take it after you found yourself at risk for HIV, a condom broke or something accidental, kind of like the morning after pill. That's been available for some time. And I've never really been a fan of the messaging or the marketing, I guess, of this, or the way it's being perceived. I'm saying, I mean, maybe it's not even the marketing, but the way it's being perceived as the get out of jail free card. I feel like people who are engaging in risky behaviors should just fucking protect themselves. I've had this, we've talked about this in a video before. Do I think, let me regroup here. So if you are putting yourself at that much risk, then take the medication. If you feel like this is something that you are trying to genuinely prevent, and you're putting yourself at risk, and that it's a high probability that you might come in contact with the HIV virus, by any means, anything that's going to lower your risk, do it. However, the problem I have with this medications, pre and post prophylactics, is the idea that they are a free pass. The idea that this means I'm on this medication and I don't have to use a condom. The idea of I can do whatever I want and then just go and take this medication after the fact. I have a big problem with that being the mindset of people who know about these medications, because some people do believe that, and it's always been that way. And some people, it's to me, it's not. I mean, granted, my message has been HIV. However, there are so many other things you could also contract by not protecting yourself. So to me, the bigger picture is HIV, STDs, if it's a straight relationship, obviously pregnancy, there's other things that can go wrong that these pills do not help you with. And that's my biggest concern about either, again, the pre or post. Like, it's not necessarily just HIV. Now, HIV might be the biggest concern, but there are other viruses you can catch without due to not using condoms. And those don't have the post-prophylactic or the the PrEP, the Truvada, or anything else. So it's very, to me, the messaging of it, and if you really have to be educated about what it is you're getting yourself into, and why it is that you're taking these. If you're taking this just because you like going and you're a bug chaser, people who want to get positive, and that's just something that you're doing just because I have a problem with that, and I don't think that's cool. Now, if I found myself in a situation, I might even take the PrEP stuff, where if I found myself in a situation where I was going to start a relationship with someone who was HIV positive, I might decide that that's for me. And it wouldn't be, okay, now we're not going to use condoms, but it would be just as a backup system to system A. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm very anti those medications. I'm very anti the messaging. Again, just because the messaging, I feel, gets misinterpreted or misconstrued altogether. And so, it's rough. It's rough out here to really determine those things. And again, I've never been in that situation, but that's kind of how I see it. So would I, in my brain right now, I would say yes. Just because of the travadas of the, I wouldn't put myself in any situation that I don't think I could handle. And, as long as the commitment to maintaining one's health is there, because that would be important to me, because I wouldn't want to get into a situation where someone's fading away, because they're not paying attention to those things. So I don't know. I don't know that it helps. I don't know that it gives you any advice. It's really kind of a neutral situation, again, because I'm not being faced with that situation, but that's just some things to think about, because it's a reality that some of us have to face. And a lot of times, and I think the hardest part is getting into relationships and building that relationship or building that bond, and then later finding out that they're HIV positive, or them not telling you, because, and let's face it, a lot of people who have HIV are in fear of people rejecting them because of their status. So sometimes, and I don't think that's necessarily fair, but I could understand where that might be coming from, because, people do get rejected because of their status, and it's a reality. But on the flip side, there has to be an understanding of why that is. It's not just because there's more to it. It's not just because. I don't know. I have a lot of mixed feelings and emotions about this. Not really emotions, but mixed feelings about all of this, because obviously, again, I know people, but it's a reality that, again, a lot of people have to face. And I feel like if people are having the conversations about statuses, then the relationship is off to a good start. So, let's talk about, let's give some points where that is, and some people, go out of their way to date positive people, and some people who are positive, date other positive people. So the dynamic is there, and I know many of people that are in serodiscordant relationships. One's positive, one negative. I know people, and they're doing just fine, and the other one's not contracted it, and it happens, and but it's always that risk, just like flying in a plane or getting a wreck in a car, that could happen. And I hate to equate the two, but really that's the best way to think about it, for me, when I'm talking about it. So, I don't know that helped or added some more doubt or concern, but that is what that is based on my opinion. And so take it or leave it. It happens. And, hopefully that helps. So thank you guys for watching. Submit your questions to questions at, I always forget it, questions at the DivaX or divax.net. Questions at divax.net, I believe, is where you can send your questions to. So send me your questions. I love them. I am sorry that I have been a question at divax.net. No S. Question. QUSTION at divax.net. Thank you guys for watching. And yeah, like, subscribe, share, ask question at divax.net. Okay, thanks for watching, guys, and adios.